Hope you all fall in. Let us start the session. Okay, you have the basic instructions. You already got it. So how we have to respond while an online session is going on. And you can use your chat box mainly for responding it properly. And if you have any doubts, particular doubts related to the discussed concept, that you can ask. You can unmute by yourself and you can ask those kinds of doubts. Rest all the response through the chat box only. Okay. And while we are discussing the questions, and there are some basic instructions related to the session, while we are discussing the questions, and adding your answers, it's better to send me privately. Means you can avoid that public sending options. I think it's available in that page. So you can select my name. I'm Shiva Prasad. So you can see it from there, from the list. And you have to send your answers privately. It's for getting more result in your performance while doing these kinds of preparations for the sessions. Otherwise, what will happen whenever you are posting your answer over there, some other students also will see the answer. That will definitely reduce the energy of those students to find the answer while doing the problems. Okay, so let us move to the session. I already mentioned that I'm Shiva Prasad. I'm a quantitative aptitude trainer assisting with Walnut Training. So it's a right opportunity to get a chance to teach you in this platform for campus placement training. So there are lots of different programs. Students from various streams are attending the sessions. So I am constrained. This particular session, it's based on the common requirement for all the different streams. So mainly, various companies are conducting this campus placement drives. So there are different types of selection procedures. So the first step of their selection procedures, normally that's an aptitude test. Some of the companies, they are not conducting the aptitude test properly. Okay, so they are directly entering into some of the descriptive type of, it's a kind of SOP writing and some of the technical type of aptitude exams or the direct interview process. Various selection procedures are there. But we are commonly constrained. There's a common pattern of placement drives. I just give you a basic idea about the different types of exams and all. Maybe it's quite difficult to read from the screen. It's for giving a so here I just mentioned three main companies and their patterns here. So the first one, it's Accenture. So Accenture, their pattern, they are following two different main patterns. So if it's difficult for you to read the screen because very small letters here. So if you're constrained, their the first session is quantitative aptitude. There are 25 questions, 35 minutes only. And logical reasoning is there, 25 questions, again 35 minutes. Verbal ability, 25 questions, 25 minutes. Total 75 questions and 95 minutes are available there. And they are conducting exam in another one pattern also, that is metric track pattern. These are two common patterns that they are following. And in this metric track pattern, a slight difference there in the number of question and distribution. Here, analytical aptitude, the session is called analytical aptitude. It included both the quantitative and reasoning sessions. And there are 20 questions from this section and exactly 20 minutes only available for that particular section. Verbal ability 20 questions, 20 minutes. That means the weightage of the time distribution for both the sessions are same. And attention to detail, these kinds of some of the comprehension type of test also be there. And we can move to the cognizant pattern. They're following another AMCAT pattern. So here, quantitative aptitude, 16 questions there, 16 minutes only available there. So we have to follow these all points. And if they are following, cognizant is following the metric track pattern, there are 30 questions. There is not any separate time allotment. Total 55 questions, 16 minutes we have to cover. And the students from mainly from non-technical background, the students from other streams, so they have to consider the other pattern. It's from KPMG. So their exam pattern, it contains 24 numerical ability. Only 20 minutes available for 24 questions. So these are the key points that we have to consider before entering into the session. What is the relevancy of such a kind of preparation? Only pointing that particular thing, I just collected these 3 examples. So you can collect the different exam patterns from websites. It's available there. And the experience is shared by the students who already appeared these kinds of exams and the selection procedures. These all things are available from various websites, or maybe it's available from your placement cell also. Okay. But we have to understand the relevancy of these sessions in the campus placement trials. So that's the first very important point. Okay. In all these tests, most of the tests, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, these are some very important points, a dominating role in these types of all the exams. If a student able to secure 60% marks in these exams, normally the student will become qualified. So that's the normal qualifying range they are fixing. Very rarely only companies will accept the students below that range. So you have to calculate or estimate within the stipulated time period how many questions we have to answer. So that's a very important point that you have to consider. Now we can move to the syllabus of this exam. So what are the important areas that we have to cover from this quantitative aptitude part? So here, this is the syllabus. For getting a basic idea, which are the areas that we have to cover, only for getting an understanding, means a clarity about those concepts, only you have to go through this slide. Here, mainly 4 different heads in the syllabus. The first one is arithmetic, second algebra, geometry, and data analysis. And you can see the topics distributed in each head. Here in arithmetic, the topics are numbers, percentages, profit and loss, simple interest and compound interest, ratio proportion variation, time and work, time and distance, average mixtures, and allocation. Good. And in algebra, there are the sessions that we can consider. 1 second. Okay. In algebra, very rarely only you will get the questions from that area. In algebra, the sections are simple equations, quadratic equations, identities, inequalities. And in geometry, 2-dimensional geometry, 3-dimensional geometry, mensuration. In data analysis, so that's another dominant area in most of the exams. It contains data interpretation type of questions, permutation, combination, and probability. This is a basic overview about the syllabus. Clear? Hope you all are well aware about these all topics, means at least the titles. For getting a clear idea in which way we have to practice for sharpening our edge for these exams, or how we have to perform well in these kinds of exams, in which way we have to prepare. These are ideas. It's based on this basic requirement. Here, these are the required topics. But in most of the cases, You will get lots of questions from the first head, that is arithmetic. Therefore, we designed this training programs is based on that arithmetic part basically. You will get most of the classes from that arithmetic part. Because in almost all the aptitude type of papers, you'll get around 80% of the questions from this arithmetic topics. So once you are strong in this arithmetic topic, you can easily secure that required qualifying range of score. Okay. Now we can move to the first topic. Today we are planning to take two different topics from the arithmetic. So one is a most frequently tested type of questions you can expect from the topic profit and loss. There are lots of questions from various companies asking. And the other one topic, another one basic fundamental pillar of arithmetic, that is ratio, proportion, and variation. And I designed this class slides. It's based on the previously asked questions by various companies for different streams of students. It contains both technical and non-technical students. So I just selected up to the average level questions for this class. So not all the questions are very easy or easy level questions. And we can try to avoid maximum explanation process of the theoretical part explanations. Instead, we can directly get into the move to the questions and its solving strategies and all. Okay. Now we can move to the first topic. Do you have any particular doubt from the already discussed area? So if you have any doubt, you can share it in your chat box. Okay. Now we are considering the first topic, profit and so these are the basic results related to profit and loss. You just take a look on this slide. If it is required, you can write down those results or take a screenshot of this page. Okay, so here we can check which are the important results here. First one, profit. So profit is very simply we can define that is selling price minus cost price. Then what about loss? Loss is cost price minus selling price. And profit percentage, that you have to understand. Finding the percentage of profit, we have to keep the cost price as the denominator always. That's a very important point. So profit percentage is simply profit divided by cost price into 100. Similarly, loss percentage, loss divided by cost price into 100. So the very important point that you have to note from those two results, always keep the cost price as the denominator. Now moving to the next concept, that is discount, where you have to consider one more parameter or the component, that is marked price. Marked price is also known as listed price. So discount is simply marked price minus selling price. Then how to calculate the discount percentage? Here we have a slight difference from the earlier discussed method. For finding the discount percentage, we have to keep the marked price as the base. So this is simply discount by marked price into 100%. So these are the basic results. But whenever we are moving to the questions, it depends upon your proficiency, whether you want to apply these results for finding the answer, or is it possible to apply any practical method for finding the answer for such a question, because most of the questions are related to our daily life situations. You can imagine or assume or visualize those situations, and we can easily reach to the answer or the solutions quickly. So now we can move to the questions. So this is the first question. You can give your answer through chat box. I already mentioned to you, it's better to send me the message privately. And now we are, for the first question, I'm not fixing the timer here. We are not depending the timer here. Then after that, after one or two questions, so we can consider how much time you are spending or you are taking for finding the answer for a question. Okay. Very good, Ria. Correct. Soumya, correct. Alan, very good. Correct. Ashley, send me the message privately. And your answer is correct. Donna, correct. Very good. So this session or this entire class sessions, we are moving like this way, means questions and its explanations. What you want to do, you have to put your effort fully for finding the answer for such a question. Then only you will get a clear picture or clear idea about the solving methods whenever I am explaining after your attempts to find out the answer for such a question. Okay. Here you have to consider what is the most easiest way, so that we are discussing the most easiest way for finding the answer for each question. Okay. So here, the first question, first understand the question clearly. While selling an article for 4232, so that means selling price equal to 4232. This is selling price. The merchant gains 15%. We have to find out the cost price. So here cost price is how much that we have to find out. Clear? Yes. So which is the most easiest way here? It's better to consider the trial and error method. Instead of considering any mathematical operation, you have to simply move from the given set of options. So how we can reach the conclusion? You have to simply observe that. What is the cost price here? Cost price. It's 15% more. It's 15% more. So that is selling price. Correct. So you have to check the given options. Which options 15% more value will be equal to this 4232. That's a simple logic. Correct. So anyway, you have to understand one more important point. We are spending time over here. Okay. It's our responsibility that we have to make the time fruitfully. So therefore, never consider this as a formality kind of attending. Instead, you have to sincerely attend, involve the session properly. Definitely, it will help you at the time of your exam. So you don't want to learn any new reserves or formulae from these sessions. You're getting only the approaching steps. Once you got it clearly, then it will create or give you some extra confidence. So whenever you are approaching the questions, you will get the idea, oh, okay, these ways are possible for reach the solution of a particular question. So it will save your time at the time of exam. Here in this case, this is such a wonderful approaching style. You have to go through the options. Anyway, by observing the set of options, you can easily eliminate option D. Got it clearly? Option D. Clear? Yes. Why? Have you got the reason? If anybody have any doubt regarding that particular point, just ask me through chat why we eliminated 4320. Clear? Yeah, anyway, here we know that selling price should be more than cost price. Here 4320 is greater than 4232. Therefore, that's not possible. The similar logic, we can eliminate option B also. Why? Because 2280 is a very small number. So if we are adding 15% of 2280, it won't be equal to 4232. So anyway, how to find 15% of a quantity? That's a very important understanding. Okay. Suppose we just consider this 2280. 2280. What is 10% of 2280? 10% of 2280. Good. For finding 10% of any quantity, what do you want to do? You just place the decimal one place towards left side. Very good, Alex. Correct. So this is 228. Then we can easily catch what is 5%. So 5% of 2280, because if we got 10% as 228, 5% is simply half of that value. It's equal to 114. Just add it together. So this is the way to find 15% of any quantity. So we will apply this method for further step of operations too. Here we are considering this trial and error method. And our basic idea, this 4232, this is 4232. This is almost twice of 2280. Twice in the sense, we have to increase it by 100%. So if you are increasing it by 100%, then only it will be nearest to 4232. Here we have only 15% increase of profit of 15%. So avoid that value. First two values are in our pending list. We have to verify these two values. Clear? 3,500. Similar way you have to check if you are considering 3,500. What is 10% of 3,500? That is simply 350. Therefore, 5% we can easily catch. That is half of this value, which is equal to 175. Therefore, this is equal to 525. So if you are adding this 525 with this 3,500, you can do these operations by mind. Here we know that the unit digit anyway, that is 5, but our unit digit is 2. So we can avoid this value. So we can conclude this is the answer. Clear? The strategies which we applied here, that you have to understand which way we reach the conclusion. And there are lots of different methods we can apply for finding the answer for this question. This is a very simple way to reach the conclusion. So how to find 15% of a given option, and you have to verify it. Clear? Hope you got it clearly. Anyway, I will give you another. Here we are applying a method that is called unitary method. The method is called unitary method. What do you want to do in such a question? You just start from cost price. You just simply assume the cost price as 100. Then we are thinking about what is selling price. Here it is given that there is a gain of 15%. So therefore 100 plus 15%, because that's a gain. You just simply add that 15% to 100. Then it will be equal to 150. Understand, these two are two representing values. So out of these two values, which value is representing 423? Here we know that this 115 is representing 423. Then what is the value represented by 100? That we have to find. So there's another simple way. Here we can catch which is the value in that question mark. So the method we are applying is called the unitary method. How it will be? Representing 4232. Then what 1 represents? Suppose we just consider the price of 115 articles equal to 4232, rupees 4232. Such one article, its price is 4232 divided by 115. We have to find out such 100 articles, its price. What do you want to do? Here we got the unit price. This is called the unit price. That's why this method is called unitary method. So therefore, this is 4232 divided by 115 into 100. Clear? You just simplify this step, then you will get the answer as 3680. Clear? So if you have any doubt, you just pause your doubt there. I will explain it again. Okay, good. Clear? Now we can move to the next question. But we all will try to find the answer for next question. Yes. So it's an important point. Here we know that in our college, Federal Bank is a dominant or the main recruiter. For the last year, I'm not sure, because before that, so most of the students from the MCOM and the MCA batches, they were eagerly waited for the placement of Federal Bank. There's a question from Federal Bank. You have to understand the calculation elements in that question, but this is comparatively easier. So you can try to find the answer for this question. So far, nobody got the answer at fast. Very good. Teresa, very good. Correct. Then Soumya, Anu, correct. Very good. Tripta, try again. Try again. a slight calculation mistake only. You can correct it properly. Ashley, send me the message privately. I already told you, because otherwise that will badly affect the enthusiasm of other students. That's why. Okay. Nishmita, correct. Good. Ashley, you are okay. Okay. So, what do you want to do? Over that chat box on the bottom place, you can see that private option. Is it possible there? So you can check it. You have to select my name over there. My name, Shiva Prasad. Yeah, actually, you couldn't see the public chat just because they are sending it privately. Okay, that's why you also have to send that privately. Sibin, very good. Yeah, all got the answer correct because you all are up to a certain level, means you all are familiar with some of the basic points of this aptitude part. So that's a very good thing. So then definitely we can improve a lot through practice. Sibin, Drishya, all are correct. Very good. Very good. So when a plot is solved for 18,700, the owner loses 15%. So the method which we already explained, that we can apply for finding the answer for this question too. So what do you want to do? You just simply consider the cost price of this. Yeah, Ashish, correct. Very good. Cost price, we just consider that as 100. So always we are depending this 100 for finding the answer for these types of question or the starting base value. There are some situations thus 100 is not a suitable assumed value. So some situations over there. But in most of the cases, so how we can identify whether 100 is a suitable assumption or assumed initial value or not, it depends upon these percentage values. If these percentage values are rounded figures like this 15%, 20%, 25%, then no doubt you can substitute or you can assume the initial value as 100. You can easily move it. And here we just consider he loses 15%. So we just consider this as the first selling price. Okay, first selling price. So I just name it as selling price 1. If there is a loss of 15%, how we can connect it? This is 100 minus 15, which is equal to 85. And need a gain of 15%. So therefore, we can consider the second selling price, that is 100 plus 15. Okay, this will be equal to 115. Now we have to consider the given value 18,700 is represented by which quantity? Here we know that this is clear. This value 85 is representing 18,700. Then what this 115 represents? This is our question. So this is a very simple way to find the answer for this type of question. So the students who are not at all familiar with the aptitude part, those types of students also can follow this method easily. So while practicing this method, you'll get some extra deviation points. So how to simplify the further steps of operation. These are all the points you will get. And how we can find the answer here. Here we know that we are applying the same unitary method, which we already explained earlier, unitary method. Okay, here the answer 85 is representing. I will give some additional inputs related to the unitary method. 85 is representing 18,700. Then 115 is representing how much? In such a question, here the step is like this. This 18,700 700 divided by this 85. 85 into 150. This is the step of operation. Or the simple understanding related to this arrangement. In this type of an arrangement, product of these two values should be equal to the product of these two values. That's a testing point. Clear? Another important understanding. So this is the usual method. What do you want to do? We just divide this 18,700 divided by 85, then multiply it by 115. This is a common method for this type of all the arrangements. Clear? So whenever we are applying this unitary method, this is a common approaching style. So I'll give some of the other tricky approaching style for finding the answer for these types of questions. Here we just simply observe this 85 and 150 both are divisible by 5. Clear? When we divide this 85 by 5, it will become 17. When we are dividing 115 by 5, this will become 23. Clear? So then we are connecting it. Instead of this one, we just rewrite the step like this. Now 17 is representing 18,700. Then 23 is representing how much? If you can easily catch the relationship between 17 and 187, so that means 187 is simply 11 times of 17. If you can catch that numerical part easily, or 17 into 1,100 will be equal to 18,700. The same operation you can apply for the second step also. Here, 23 into 1,100. That will be the answer. This is a numerical conclusion. You can easily do this operation if you are proficient in this numerical part. And how we can multiply 23 by 11? There is an easy method. So how to multiply a quantity by 11? So whenever we need to multiply a quantity by 11, first write the unit digit. Then write the sum of these two digits. That means 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. Then write this last digit. So the product is 253. So now we got this product as, that is 11 into 23 will be equal to 253. Then put 2 zeros here. So the answer is ready. Usually this Federal Bank will ask more complicated calculation type questions. This is for the BCom or MCom students. That means mainly for non-technical streams. At that end, they asked some of the questions, mild level questions. And you can see some of the questions they asked for the technical cadre students also. Because they are conducting the, mainly they are selecting aspirants from MCA, MCom, BCom, these sections. Yeah. And very rarely some of the plain science streams also. But in our college, we know that it's not the exact picture. I am telling it's about the other, in a common way, we are considering all the arts and science colleges. But here it's not the real picture. Here we know that the selection procedure is done from almost all the streams, even the BSc Maths or BSc, some other streams, BCA, from all the areas, you will get the chance of this placement. So you have to understand, if it is Federal Bank, Axis Bank, some of the South Indian Bank, some of the banking organizations, their aptitude test. So mainly based on the numerical skills. Some of the numerical calculations are required for finding the answer for such questions instead of more concept-wise approach. But this is a mild level question. Understand the approaching style here. Now consider the third question. So this is also from Federal Bank. Now you can give the response quickly, then we can discuss more questions. Interpret the question properly. It's a simple question, not a complicated one. We can check who will give the answer fast for this question. I think this question challenge for you. That's why you are taking a little more time for finding the answer. Yeah, this will happen at the time of exam, because the questions may be that simple, but without our practice, we may take too much time for interpret the question and doing calculations. So like that, we are spending our time at the time of exam. At that time, Alan, very good, Alan, correct? So once you are practicing it properly, you can give the response within seconds. Alvin, very good. Sujitra, try again. Suppose you just consider, if you're practicing it properly, this question, it's a 1 second question. So while reading itself, you'll get the answer. Ashish, very good. Correct. Okay, now we can check how to solve such a question. The percentage profit earned by selling an article. Paulvin, very good, correct. Selling an article for rupees 1920 is equal to the percentage loss incurred. So there we just consider there is a cost price. And the question is related to two different selling prices. So there is a cost price. We just consider that as a Saumya, try again, cost price. So there is one selling price, and another one more selling price also be there. Got it? Drishya, Ria, very good, correct? So in this selling price, this is the first selling price we just consider 1920. And there is another one selling price that is 1280. It is given that the profit percentages and loss percentage are same. Benedict, correct? So this is profit percentage. This is loss percentage. Good. This difference is based on cost price. Or this is profit. This is loss. So in this context, profit percentage and loss percentage are same means what is this profit that is same as this numerical value of loss. Clear? So means this cost price is equidistant from 1280 and 1920. Or this cost price is the midpoint of 1280 and 1980. So that's a very important point. Yeah, that's the first or the very important interpretation point here. So then how to find out this cost price equal to? You just simply find the average of these two values, then you will get the middle value here. Here. In this case, it is given that, Donna, correct? In this case, it is given that the profit and loss are same while we are considering these two different selling prices. So after simplifying this one, we just add it together. What do we get? 3,200 divided by 2. So one very important point while doing doing the rough work of these all type of operations, maybe students are using calculators. Try to avoid such a use of calculator while doing your practice, because at the time of exam you are not permitted to use a calculator. If you are not practicing your mental calculation, at least at this point or this time of practice, so at the time of exam you cannot do anything. So now you have to practice, or you have to depend your mental calculation method for finding the answers. Here we have, this is equal to 1600, clear. So this is the cost price. But we have to find out what should be the selling price. So it means we are thinking about the new selling price, which will provide 25% profit. Correct? So therefore, the new selling price. So how we can practically approach this one? Anyway, actual cost price is 1600. We have to create a profit of 25%. 25% means 25% of 1600. So this is 1600 plus. We know that 25% of any quantity means 1/4 of that quantity. Clear? 1/4 of that quantity. This is 1600. Or this is simply 1600 plus 400. So this is equal to 2000. Clear? So this situation, that's a very important thing. You have to familiar with the situation. Then only you can develop this kind of a concept and reach the conclusion like this. Okay, there are lots of different questions based on this concept, but due to the time restrictions, we are discussing only very selected set of questions for touching different types of or different forms of questions. Here, you can try this question. It's another very important question. Okay, Alex, very good. Paulvin, very good. Sachin, good. Donna, good. Donna, we can send a message privately to me. Very good. Teresa, correct, good. Benedict, correct. All are correct, very good, very good. Sibin, correct. Saumya, correct. Okay, very good. So we can consider this question. And what is the most easiest approaching style for this question? Shopkeeper sold the third of an item and got the cost price of the whole lot. Suppose we just consider you have 3 kilograms of rice with you. Alex, very good, correct. You have 3 kilograms of rice with you. But while you are selling 2 kilograms out of the 3 kilograms, then itself your expense is cleared. Then this is such a situation. So that's the rate. Ashish, very good, correct. So how we can relate this one? Here we can consider our cost price, net cost price, is simply 2/3 of the net selling price. We can relate the cost price and selling price like this. The total cost price, net cost price, is equal to 2/3 of the selling price. Have you got it clearly? Then we are framing a ratio between cost price and selling price here. So here, cost price divided by selling price. So that is simply 2/3. Now you form a ratio of cost price and selling price. Understand how we have to move further from this particular step. That's a very important point. because in some of the questions you will get such a similar type of situation. You have to familiar the methods to move further from such a step. What do you want to understand here? Here you just consider our cost price is equal to. So what is the percentage of his profit? So that's when a shopkeeper sold 2/3 of an item, he got the cost price of the whole lot. So at that time, we have to revise our concept, whether our answer is correct or not. We all got the answer A, but we have to check it properly. Means, what is the exact approaching style here? Like that, we can make the change here in our approach, a slight mistake if it will be there. So you have to understand the situation. Shopkeeper sold only 2/3 of the item, then received the entire amount. Here you have to consider it like this. I am just considering the reciprocal of this operation. This is selling price by cost price. Then this is 3 point. Okay. Because we have to keep the cost price as the base of the operation. So what do you want to assume here? If the cost price is 2 rupee, then selling price is 3 rupee. If the cost price is 2 rupee, then the selling price is 3 rupee. What is the profit here? Profit is 1 rupee. Clear? That's the situation here. Then we can find the profit percentage. So this is profit. This is profit. We know that what is the difference between selling price and cost price is usually called the profit or loss. Now the profit percentage we can. So what is profit percentage? Profit divided by cost price into 100. Then what is the profit percentage here? So that is 50%, not 33.33%. Clear? So what is the slight mistake most of the students made there? So they just simply consider this difference here. So therefore it will become 1/3. So but you have to keep it in your mind. Always keep cost price as the base of the operation for finding the percentage of profit as well as loss. Clear? Any doubt there? Because most of the students answered it wrongly. That's why I asked. Is it clear? That particular point is very important. You have to keep the cost price of the operation as, or cost price as the base of the operation. The logic is very simple. Here you have to consider you have 3 mobile phones with you. That means you spend equal amount for those mobile phones. While selling 2 among them, then also you will get your amount you spend for purchasing those products. Clear? That means here the connection is like this: 2 selling prices equal to 2 selling prices equal to 3 cost prices. So that's the connection. Clear? So therefore the answer is 50%. That's a very important point because most of the students, almost all the students give the answer as 33 and 1/3%. That's why it's such a tricky question. You may make mistake while considering this question. Okay. So another very important question. It's another frequently tested type question. Now we can check how many of you will give the answer correctly and quickly. So you just connect it with the practical situations. Like that, you have to think about it. How we can find the profit or loss in such a situation. Sachin, try again. Colvin, very good, Colvin. Correct. Quickly, you got the answer. There is a, you can try it again. Alex, please try it again. A slight mistake in the interpretation part, that's only the problem. You can correct it easily. Godwin, try again. So practically, you just think about the situation. Elizabeth, so you also can make it correct. Slight mistake in the interpretation part. So whether it's correct or not, you have to attempt it. So that's a very important point. So through our mistakes, we can learn it properly. It means at least once you tried to find the answer, then it will give some extra idea. Whenever I am explaining the right method, you can easily absorb the things. Right? Very good. Correct. A very important point. Ashish, try again. Godwin, very good. Correct. Now you are correct. These all questions, you have to note it down because at the time of exam, so I can assure that these class sessions, if you are participating, involved, these sessions are 100% mindfully. Anu, correct. Albin, try again. Definitely 60% of your aptitude session, this quantitative part, you can clear. So that's my assurance. Clear. Because these all are selected set of questions only. Albin, yeah, try again. Ria, correct. So I went through previously asked questions by various companies in different location colleges and institutions. So these questions based on their requirement. Therefore, note these questions properly and try to practice similar kind of questions. What is the advantage there? Once you are familiar with this concept, these types of questions at the time of exam, whenever you are getting such a question, it's not strange to you. You are already familiar. Good. So like that, you can perform well. Alex, very good, correct. And it's a special type question. I'll give you the most interesting way to solve this type of a question easily. So understand, this is a rate problem. It's a rate kind problems because it doesn't mean he exactly purchased for 3 pence and sold only 2 pence. Our previous question also the same kind of a question. 2/3 of the selling price equal to the cost price. Means that's a rate term. For such a rate, he solved the entire thing. That's the basic idea. Then only we can practically consider or find out the profit percentage or loss percentage in such a transaction. Here, the simple step, you have to understand this step. It's a beautiful step. So this is cost price of 3 pence is equal to ₹2. Selling price of 2 pence equal to ₹3. So first you have to write the step like this. Then what you want to do, you just simply make a cross multiplication. This is 2 into 2. So that is 4 right here. Put it 2 into 2, that is 4. 3 into 3, that is 9. Clear? What do you want to consider? This 4 as net cost. This 9 as net revenue. Got it? 4 rupee, that is the net cost, and 9 rupee, that is the net revenue. Then what is the profit there? So net profit, that's this difference. So 4 to 9, what is the profit there? So net profit, so that's equal to 5 rupee. So now we have the net cost as 4 rupee, net profit as 5 rupee. We can easily find out the profit percentage. So here, profit percentage. That is simply profit divided by cost price. Now we have the net cost as 4 into 100. So this is equal to 125%. Clear? So you can expect such a question in your placement trial. So you have to apply this method. Once you're practicing it properly, you can do this operation by mind without doing any kind of rough work. Okay. So understand that writing method, which value and which position we have to place, these all points you have to consider. Okay, now we are considering the next question. Yeah, then we can check who will give the answer at first. It's a very simple question. It's purely practically only you have to answer. You don't want to bother about any type of equation or formula. Very simple way you can catch it. Very good, Alan. Quickly, you got the answer. Very good. So Alan got the answer within seconds. So like that, you just think about it. Paulin, try again. This time you made a slight mistake there. And your calculation may be a slight mistake. Sachin, correct? Teresa, try again. A slight calculation mistake there. Yeah, understand it properly. It's a successive discount. Successive discount means this 20% discount applicable on the first price. Next, 10% discount applicable on the reduced price only. That's the concept. That's the concept of successive discounts. Now you can make it correct. Yeah, Pauline, correct. Good. Rance, very good. Correct. So you have to understand that concept. What is successive discounts? It's a continuous process. We just consider. So the total cost as 500 rupee. Sorry, 5,000. This was the initial price. First 20% discount. Ashish, correct date. So you have to understand the concept of successive discount. The second percentage is applicable on the already reduced price. Like that, you have to follow. Diana, very good, correct. So 20%. What is 20% of 5,000? 20% of 5,000. That's a very important point. We can easily catch Ria, correct. 1,000 rupees. You have to subtract it. Discount in the sense it's a subtraction. Hence, it's become 4,000. Now consider the second discount, 10%. Here the important point. This 10% is applicable on 4,000, not on 5,000. Got it? Donna, correct? You have to catch what is 10% of 4,000 instead of 5,000. Clear? That's a very important understanding here. So this is 400. Now, if you are subtracting 400 from 4,000, what will get? 3,600. Finished. That's it. So this is the application of successive variation here, successive discount here. Successive, the term successive represents this one, continuously doing the process. So there are concepts related to successive increase, successive decrease. So you will get those concepts in detail at the topic of percentages. So that's a very important area. We can expect lots of questions from that area. But this is a very simple practical type of calculation. Okay. Now we just consider this one. It's a frequently asked question. It's the most frequently asked question. You have to by heart this question with answer. Clear? So whenever you are getting this question again, you don't want to waste your time to do the interpretation or doing the refer. Directly give the answer. This is the answer. So just try to understand the question and give the response. Students who are facing difficulty in this calculation or the interpretation part, those types of students, I have a suggestion. Sachin, very good. What do you want to do? So which are the questions I am mentioning while discussing these questions? I am mentioning that these questions you have to by heart. You have to note down that question. At least you have to by heart those questions. Godwin, think about it properly. Alan, correct. Ragin, correct. Very good. Soumya, do you have any doubt why you raise the hand? So, Paulvin, correct. Azuz M1, try again, try again. Okay, okay, no problem. Soumya. Ashish, very good, correct. Yeah, students who are facing difficulties, you have to note down this question. I'm 100% sure if you are attending 3 placement tests, definitely you will get this question in any one among those 3 sets. Ria, correct. Akhil, correct. So what do you want to do? Very good. Benedict, Babita, all are correct. So the price of an item decreased by 10%, then increased by 10%. Then the net effect. So item first decreased by 10%, then increased by 10%. Or first increased by 10%, then decreased by 10%. That means order doesn't matter. Whether the first variation is increase or decrease, that's not a matter. Anyway, the same percentage quantity. That means R% increase, then successively R% decrease. So the net effect is always R square by 100% decrease. No doubt that as a result. If the price of a product first increased by R%, then successively decreased by R%. Yes, very good, very good. Diana, Drishya. Then the net variation or the net effect is R square by 100% decrease. Here, this is 10 square by 100. So that is 1% decrease. Runs, understand the concept clearly? Clear. So therefore, the answer is 1% decrease. It's a frequently tested question. So you have to by heart this question clearly. This result is very important. So instead of this 10%, 10%, we just consider if it is 20% increase and 20% increase, what will happen? So if a quantity first increased by R%, then decreased by R%, then the net effect is R square by 100% decrease. Always it's a decrease. Clear? So we got it, friends? Yes. Then instead of 10%, if it is 20% increase and 20% decrease, what will be the answer? You can give the response. 20% increase and 20% decrease. Applying the same. Very good, Alan. Right. So that is 4% decrease. 4% decrease. Keep it in your mind. Always it is a decrease. Okay. So that's such a very important question. And finally, one more question from this profit and loss. Then we have to start the ratio proportion by today itself. So these are the selected 8 questions from this topic. Practically think about it. Okay, Vinekha, that's a good question. Percentage-wise difference, that actually the application of successive variation. Vinega asked that whether if the percentage values are different, then what is the result there? I just give the rough idea about that thing that we will discuss in detail in the topic of percentages. Clear? That is called the successive variation. You're probably correct. Vineka, your answer is you can apply this result. X% increase and Y% decrease. In such a situation, if the percentages are different, this is X minus Y, that means X is increased, therefore positive X, Y is decreased minus Y, minus XY, the product is negative by 100. You have to do this operation. If the output is positive, the resultant is increased, otherwise it's decreased. Clear? Yeah, here what do you want to do? The equal cost is very important. Equal cost. Cost prices are equal. Then the first product sold at 20% profit and the other at a loss of 10%. 20% profit and 10% loss. What do you want to do? So here you just consider okay. Yes. Does it get connected? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Good. Here, 20% profit and 10% loss and equal cost. So what do you want to do? A very simple trick. If it is profit, then add it as positive value. If it is loss, then subtract 10 from that value. There are two products, therefore divide it by 2. So this is the answer. So in general, we just consider if the cost prices are equal. So that's the basic trick here. So cost prices are equal. And if the first product made a profit of X% and the second article made a loss of Y%. So the net effect is very simply, this is X minus Y by 2. So the same result if you are applying here, this is 20 minus 10 by 2. What will get? 5. 5 is positive. That means it's a profit. So this is a simple trick. Instead of these 2 articles, if there are 3 articles, suppose we just consider the first one, it's a profit of X% profit. Okay. Second one, it's another profit of Y%. That's also a profit. And third one, it's a loss of Z%. Then what is the net effect? The positive values you have to add together, then subtract the loss here. There are 3 articles, therefore divided by 3. That's a common condition. Clear? And you can apply this method or finding the answer through some basic assumptions also. Instead of doing this kinds of formula-based approach, you just simply assume the cost prices, cost price and selling price. Cost price of 2 articles are equal. Simply assume both the cost prices are 100 and 100. Then what is the net cost price? This is simply 200. So the first article made a profit of 20. Therefore, the cost selling price equal to 120. The second article incurred a loss of 10%. Therefore, it's become 90. So sum is equal to 210. So total cost 200, but your total profit 10. So what is the profit percent? Like this way also you can connect it. This is 10 by 200. Don't forget that is 200 into 100. Like that also you can find the answer. So these are the very important set of questions from profit and loss. There are lots of other types of questions also. It's only guidelines. You have to consider like that. On the base of this basic type of questions, different types of questions, you have to prepare more. So now we have to move to this ratio, proportion, and variation. That's the next topic I selected. So here I am not giving any type of explanations, basic theoretical explanations. Instead, we are directly moving to the question. So we can start with one or two questions from this topic. The rest of the questions we will discuss in our further sessions. So now you can give the answer for this question. Hence, very good. Correct. Anu, correct. Paulvin, correct. Tutu, Navya, all are correct. Very good. Godwin, correct. So that means you're very familiar in this ratio, proportion, variation. So you have the basic idea. So Gitti, Donna, all are correct. Very good. Diana, correct. So in such a question, what is a very basic type of application? So here, A, B, C, the ratios are Marian, correct? 2, 3, and 4. We have to find the wage of B. So wage of B is in the ratio value that is 3. So what do you want to consider? Wage of B is this 3 divided by sum of these 3 ratio values. Ashish, correct? 2 plus 3 plus 4. How it will become 9. This is 3 by 9 of the total. Here it is given that their total wage is 1800. So you just simply do it. So this is the step of operation. What is the idea behind this type of approach? We are assuming that a total quantity divided into 9 equal parts. Out of these 9 equal parts, 3 portions will make the wage of B. That's a basic idea that we are considering here. Therefore, the answer is 3 by 9 into 1800. So that will be equal to 600. We can easily conclude it. This is equal to 600. Clear? So that's a simple application. So one more question from this topic we can consider. This question is asked from Tech Mahindra. So it's for technical cadre. But the question, its nature, it's in a common nature question, not a complicated one. It's a bit time consuming maybe while we are comparing it with the previous set of questions. So we can check. Yeah, Drishya, very good. You answered it fast. Yeah, Shish. Yeah, there is a slight mistake. You can correct it. Donna, try again. Okay, think about the calculation part properly and how to do the step of operations, how easily we can reach the conclusions. So I'll explain here. So what do you want to do here? How this amount constitutes from these all denominations. Here 50 paise coins. We are assuming there are X number of 50 paise coins. Correct? And no need. There we have the ratio. Then we can consider like this. So 5, 9, and 4. It is already given. Then you don't want to make it as complicated. So therefore, 50 paise coins, we just consider there are 5K. We are considering like that. 5K number of 50 paise coins. 25 paise coins, there are 9K. 9K. This is a way of assumption because it is given that the number of coins are in the ratio 5:9:4. So therefore, this is 4K. So understand this approaching style properly. Then what is the total amount through this kind of distribution? 50 into 5, that we know that 250K, right? Plus 25 into 9, which is equal to 225K. And 10 into 4, which is equal to 40K. This is equal to total 206 rupee. Don't forget, rest all are in paise, but this is rupees. So we are converting, this is also in the denomination or the unit of paise. So we just put 2 zeros here. That is 20600. While adding these all values, we are adding these all values 250 plus 225 plus 40. So then we will get this is equal to 515K is equal to 20600. Then we can find what is K. K is 20600 divided by 550. Simply do it, do the simplification here. By observing this value, that's the numerical conclusion part. Some students are facing difficulties in this area, how to simplify it. There, what you want to do, you just think about the simple, very small type of values. Means 5 is a common factor for both the values. Like that, you can do the simplification. Instead, if you can easily catch the relationship between this 20 and this 5, almost 4 times, right? Just verified 515 into 4. It will be equal to 15 into 4 is equal to 60. 5 into 4, that's equal to 20. So this is 2060, it's matching. So therefore, here we got this is 40. What we have to find out, what is the total number of 50 paise coins? So as per our assumption, number of 50 paise coins is 5K. So number so that is 5K. Here, this is 5 into 40. So the answer is 200. So this is a way to find the answer for this question. There are lots of other ways also possible. Okay. Anyway, it's really a very interesting interactive session from your end. You cooperated, you involved in the session well. So some students, they may be attended the sessions in a passive mode. No problem. The next time you can be also be live in the session. So today we can wind up the session. So we can see in our next session that time you have to make a basic preparation on these all basic things. Most probably the topics which I explained under the head of arithmetic, those topics we are mainly covering, and data analysis part like this permutation, combination, probability. So what you can do, we are in a short period of time. So you have to do a self-preparation from your end. And you have to consider this online session. It's for clearly more of your doubts and those kinds of all the things. So, and once you are making a basic groundwork on these all topics, while attending the session, we can absorb more from this section. Clear? Anyway, the point I am repeating here, the question which we are discussing in the session are very selective. So you have to at least familiar with those set of questions. Okay, today we can wind up. Thank you.